Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyperroll with Autarch. They are doing a patch this week that is going to destroy Jazz pretty much completely, because they're not only hitting Jazz, they're hitting some of the elements of Jazz. They might also be taking out the Rapid Fire Guardian build. I don't think it'll be taken out. It's just going to be not quite as consistent because they're just nerfing Guardians a little, but they're buffing Caitlyn. So I'll check it out and report to you once we see what happens. They're also buffing Akali, which I think is going to present a little bit of a KDA problem. But let's jump into the augments here and see which way this goes and why it goes that way. We're going to re-roll the stuff that isn't really that helpful. I tend to like Blistering Strikes if I can get it, because then you don't have to do a Sunfire Cape on your main tank. That leaves some things open. Since this gave us a Mordekaiser out of the NPC round, I was hoping to get something in the realm of Pentakill. Had an Olaf, just need one more. There's Kale, and we can also build up a little bit. Olaf is pretty good early as an item holder for all things that could be Yorick or could be Viego. So I'm going to go ahead and put a Bloodthirster onto him so we can start off pretty strong. Pentakill is interesting because it has the ability to be strong pretty much throughout the match. Early, you're not going to get the 5 kills necessary to trigger the ultimate of Pentakill, but once you can in like stages 7, 8, and 9, it can really accelerate fast. There are several different combinations you can go with: Pentakill Bruisers, Pentakill Moshers, Pentakill Edgelord. There are 2 Pentakills who are Edgelord, that's Kale and Viego, so that's sort of a natural pairing, but some of the others work as well. Moshers I found to be very good for this. Item-wise, we can go ahead and grab the bow, because that will enable us to create a Titan's Resolve on Olaf, which will just allow him to get a little bit stronger throughout the match. We don't have a headliner yet, which is going to hold this comp back at this point. Usually I like to try to start with an Olaf headliner and then work that into a different headliner such as Karthus later on. But sometimes you just get other signs like a 3-cost NPC out of the initial round, and you gotta run with that. And you can see why I like using Titan's Resolve Bloodthirster on so many different champions this season. It just makes for a great combo, especially someone like Olaf, who's going to pick up speed throughout the match as he gets lower and keep healing. This allows him to stay in the fight all the way till the end. Going into the second set of augments, we're able to pick up a Kale headliner with Pentakill, so we're going to be able to go up in that. You have my bow as an option, but not necessarily perfect. Remember your roots. Well, remember that one for a second. We roll those 2, but with remember your roots, anyone who shares a trait with the headliner is going to get a bonus. And in Pentakill, you're going to be running mostly Pentakill. So it's also Edgelord. So in this case, we have Pentakill, Edgelord. So if we go with Pentakills and Edgelords, everyone's going to be getting a bonus. And again, keep your eye on Olaf and the combination of Bloodthirster and Titan's Resolve and what it does for him. While everything else is pretty much getting killed, he's able to hold on as he powers up, gets the shield, it keeps him alive. Kale is just hitting from the corner, but it enables us to get through and ultimately win this round. Since Edgelord is going to be our secondary trait, due to the augment, we picked up a Yone and a Riven. But this is where you'll start to see the impact of Pentakill. Because again, it doesn't matter until you really get that 5th kill. Watch the attack speed gain from Kale that helps her finish that round off. Item choice, pretty easy for me. It's going to be the Needlessly Large Rod, because Kale does fantastic with Rage Blade. You can also then add on healing items like a Hextech Gunblade, because that will help keep the entire team healed. But this area ultimately is probably one of the harder for Pentakill. Stages 5, 6, 7 in that range, because you're not necessarily going to get 5 champions down and trigger the real meat that is Pentakill. We've also not gotten a Gnar yet for some reason, so we're not up to 5 Pentakill yet. So this lobby had chosen Radiant Item as the portal, and so here are our Radiant items. For me, it's really easy. The Hextech Lifeblade is going to go on Kale. That will provide healing to the team, keeping them up a little bit longer, allowing them to get that next kill. But we still need to get to 5 Pentakills here. We finally got our Gnar during the NPC round, and we get our final set of augments. Jeweled Lotus doesn't really fit Pentakill all that much, a little bit because of Karthus, but I really like crash test dummies, and that is because it gives you that initial stun that you can then build off of. We've locked for our Karthus, but you can see the impact of the crash test dummies. They just go in and stun, and when you have a team that's going to power up on the 5th kill, you're going to move very quickly. Final individual component choice is going to be very easy. The sword goes with the tier to make a Spear of Sojin on Karthus, which is likely one of his most important items. Then you put together with an Archangel Staff and then a Jeweled Gauntlet, and you have 3 pretty excellent Karthus items. We're going to go ahead and just add a Quicksilver onto Olaf to keep him from getting stunned early, but ultimately we have another Olaf waiting in the wings so that we can move those items over to Yorick once we find him, or over to Viego, who we have locked. But one of the main things here is Karthus, because what he's going to do more than anything else is get you to that 5th kill, which is going to speed up the team, and you can see how much it helps here, especially with Kale's additional healing. Time for an item choice, and while it does give a Pentakill emblem, remember you need 2 in order to get to 10, and the odds of getting another one are basically nothing, so we're going to pass on that. Sunfire Cape, I had to think about it, but we have Burning Strikes, so we don't need that. Adding a Nashter's Tooth to Kale is just going to increase her attack more and more, so that will be extremely helpful. Now, one mistake I made in this game I'd like to point out is I find it better to split up the crash test dummies when you get them, put them on opposite sides of the board so it will stun 2 groups. If you just stun one group, you run the risk of something like this happening. We managed to get ourselves a Yorick just before the NPC round, so the Bloodthirster and Titan's Resolve have gone onto Yorick. Nothing fantastic here, but I do find Edge of Night to be a decent Yorick item, and that's mainly because it will allow him to drop aggro when he's about to die, and then ultimately bring out the Maiden rather than just the individual little ghouls. We put the Quicksilver onto Viego because we 2-starred him, and we are now at the 7 Pentakills. Viego is our 4th edgelord, so what we're looking for right now is one final edgelord, hopefully Kayn, to finish out the build, which will give us the 7 Pentakills and 5 edgelords, and remember your roots will be working perfectly. You also see how Pentakill is working well enough to bring us into the top 4. And we have an item choice here, and it's always funny to see how my brain works when I watch these back, because I think about the Sunfire Cape and something in me is going, no, there's some reason I don't want to, oh yeah, I have Burning Strikes, I don't need it. Because Sunfire Cape, for me, is such a fundamental item to put on someone like Mordekaiser, but it would just be a waste when you already have Burning Strikes. This is also the spot where I noticed my complete negligence in my crash test dummies, and I go ahead and separate them out. I want them to stun multiple groups of people so that I can get the most bang for my buck, because once we get 5 people down, then we get that big speed boost and everything takes over. Karthus is going to supply that, which allows everyone to speed up. You can see Viego just going in, doing a ton of damage, and then it just all falls apart for the other team. Final item choices of the game, we're going to go ahead and grab a Giant Slayer for Viego, because he's doing a pretty good job, and we've now 2-starred our Karthus. Now, we've been looking for an additional edgelord, particularly Kayn, but he's being elusive, as he does seem to be. We did get to 2-star our Yorick, and then item choice wise, Probably Jeweled Gauntlet would have been good if we're guaranteed to pick up Kayn. However, I'd rather just keep Mordekaiser up a little bit longer in the front line, so we go with the Sterix Gauge so that he gets a health shield. And if you decide to go Pentakill and you have an option for something like Final Ascension, don't bother. You are too likely to finish off the match before 15 seconds has elapsed. Maybe you'll get right to it, but most likely it's over before then. Now without Kayn, I decided to go with Zed because that also triggered EDM, which could give us just a little additional CC since we placed it on Zac, and it will cause both of them to bounce if necessary. I don't suspect it will be necessary because once Karthus secures that 5th kill, the pentakills just speed up and you can see it's over really quick and GG for everyone. Go for Pentakill if you get an early Olaf headliner or the right NPC. It's pretty strong. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, have an absolutely awesome day.